This is the Lekker Rugby Pod Instant Reaction, only on Megaphone Rugby.
Welcome to this instant reaction, Lekker Rugby Pod Instant Reaction. I said to Harry just now, I'm going to make the caption WTF exclamation mark. I'll probably change my mind, but man, what a game. I must face 20 years by now, I think.
Envy, let me just calm myself down. There are many forests in the trees. There are many trees in the forest. They are all beautiful, but they're all different. Breathe. Have a conversation with yourself. Not an argument, Harry. But motherfuck!
You just said you were a reformed man, Harry. Come on, man.
I didn't swear for a whole episode, and now I'm telling you, I mean, this is ridiculous. I've never seen a more just chopped start, internally inconsistent, externally diabolical, no harmony. We said, our preview was about what is this weird team, and we isolated a few things. I suppose we looked at the scrum. We wondered about what if that sort of disintegrated on us. We worried about the midfield. Have obviously Hooker and Moody have never played together. They're not always playing at 13 and 12 in their clubs. They usually float around. Hooker doesn't play 12. The game plan, it's hard to implement a game plan when you don't have any combinations. And then finally you had this idea of, what about if there's a card? What about if there's something that goes wrong? Are all our machinations going to come undone? And there was a point in this match with a referee with no name. I don't like to give referees names, they're too famous, but he was in over his head. He had talked himself into circles. It wasn't clear whether the referee was in charge or TMOs or Ben O'Keefe or, a bunch of people in the crowd with vowels at the end of the name. What was going on there? And it felt like thing was disintegrating into farce, into a giant pantomime. We're not conspiracy theories. We don't take the posture of being that, we were robbed, that someone did us, we were done. It's a terrible way to think. It's immature. It's infantile, because in general, the problems in life are caused by incompetence, not by, packages of cash under the table. This is a fanciful, it's a Hollywood thing. In reality, it's just people trying to do their best, and their best is not good enough. They're not up to the occasion. They don't understand how much ruck foolery is going on. There's just people up the bum all over the place. Nothing's making sense. And then you make fine distinctions about contact, ignoring dynamism, and then inside the match, you actually violate your own principles. You have no fixed abstract principles. It's just, wrong for thee, none for me. And it starts to be hard to take. There's a thing about having an orange card, this 20 red, and a bunker system, which was supposed to implement and reserve the red for the gouge, the overt trip, the non-rugby play, the uppercut, the check your oil up the bum, like Mark said last week. But instead, it's devolved into just another fine distinction, where now you've given cops five crimes to implement on one type of occasion. Don't be surprised if they start splitting weird, and no intent gets red carded, red. And intent, like a trip or a swinging arm, gets the yellow, because it's all about some sort of outcome. When you ref to the outcome, instead of looking at common sense and saying what exactly was Sos trying to do, and what did he have available to him in the 0.04 seconds he had available at his height, taking his posture, and someone collapsing from another cause. You've got to factor that in, and it's the perfect example of using the 20 red, this thing that was supposed to be our panacea. And then you get exactly the same thing head-to-head, never a rugby play, no dip to it, and it's suddenly a yellow. The whole thing is just screwed up. It's it's silly. And so I had to sort of shirk that, because I don't want to sit around here swearing, acting like some old man shouting at clouds. Instead, I beheld the wonder of someone called Damian Willemsa, who single-handedly, like a colossus, geez, the size of his legs nowadays, just rising in the sky, palming, his fend is like some sort of crime insensate. It's like the first act of violence that ever was visited upon the planet in the Garden of Eden. You cannot get by him. You cannot tackle him first time. When he meets you in the gap, you are going to fall down and look silly. Villimsa was imperious. He ruled the skies, he ruled the air, he ruled the ground, and he kept us in it in a first half that didn't make no sense, that we ended up being up 10-3. We were nowhere. We were being pushed off scrums. We lost a tight head. We were subbing props like they were going out of style. I was thinking we might want to go to uncontested scrums on purpose for the first time in Springbok history. Rassie was having fumes coming out of his ears.
His watch must have been off the charts. Remember his heartbeat on his watch? He must have been blown up or something, I'm sure.
Running out of locks, running out of props, running out of ideas, but Villimsa was there. And with a shimmy and a shake and a binny and a bake, he was just moving around, bouncing people off. He was big, he was quick, he was strong, he was smart, and he rescued our arses. He pulled us out of the fire and he kept us in it. Notables there, we lived by the contestables. In the first half, there were 9 contestables put up. Polly went for nobody one time, but he went mostly for Moody and Hooker. Van den Berg went for KLA. He went for midfield chases. 9 contestables, 5 goods, 5 actual really good contestable regains, 2 bad and 2 okay. That was good. It actually turned around. Second half, we couldn't just rely on contestables. We'd lost another player. We had no chase. 11 contestables, only 5 good, 5 bad. Some of those bad ended up with Angie Capiozzo off to the races. So there we saw a different side of Villimsa, which was the playmaker, the stabilizer, the balancer. On either side of him, Pollard, okay, Johnny on the spot sometimes, had good runs, had good loose ball collections. Marty coming on, had one of the worst kicks to touch I've ever seen in my life. I think it took 3 bounces before it was scooped up by their danger man. Not on time, lackadaisical, embodied by that final kick for Poles, which took it away from my prediction of 42-14 and made it only 32-14. Actually, my 14 was right. Listen, ask me about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I'll give you what I know. But the end, it looked like there was some recompense. Marco van Staden was running like a bull in Pamplona that had gotten out of the barriers and was just running amok through a town that wasn't even part of the organized event, the Cape Town Marathon, and he was just smashing things.
Yeah.
Kwacha came out of his skin. He had battle inside his bones. There were people who came on and they said, "This is ours. We've taken it." But from start to finish, I found that Damian Willemsa rose above all, and he was the glue. He was the actual glue where you've made all the wrong cuts in your woodworking, or your dovetails are off, but you just put glue in there and it sticks. And run out of town, get out of Turin, forget that shroud, and just move on to the big game next week.
You just talked about the good, the bad, and ugly. And something that caught me a little bit by surprise was yanking Zachary off at, 18 minutes, yanking Boone off at 24 minutes. Is the guy ever going to finish a half, never mind a match? And then a red card. I mean, sometimes there's a saying in Afrikaans that says, slim vang sy baas. Now, do you think Rassie was maybe a bit too slim here and got caught out a little bit?
Yeah, that's a great saying, by the way. Okay. I think that still falls within the category of good, in that Rassie wasn't stuck. He's so elastic. So he realized early on that no scrum, no win. There was a possibility here in the Shroud of Turin that we were just going to get buried in some kind of medieval myth where you never really know what happened. But you look back later and say, ooh, we stuck too long with a 2-capper, 1-capper, a less than 10-capper, when, nostrils were being flared and people were grabbing armpits and, nether regions were being twisted by the Italians. That scrum had to be fixed, and you just had to keep playing your cards until you found smooth operators. The problem is now that you have a card, you have no ballast, you have no, the barge is lilting to the side or tilting to the side. Ben Jason Dixon also yanked. So now you don't have a bouncer that can clean, and then the ruck's an open game until Kwacha and Morne and Marco are playing together. There's a period of time where it was, I think they had a 10 turnover edge on us, sustained. If you took turnovers 1, turnovers lost, they were just winning that battle, which is definitely the battle that Felix Jones believes in, and that we have built an entire golden era on, is that we win the scraps When it's 50-50, if our shoulders are down there first, we will break our nose. We will get the ball. We were not getting that because you take out a bouncer and now you have more of a pedestrian pack and you're just fighting to secure your own ball at line out and scrum. So I think maybe Rassi was correct to do the side of it that was, I will find the bulwark that will stem the tide. I will put the finger in the dike. I will stop the ocean from coming in. But then the card. See, the card exacerbates everything. And you're thinking, is that the final time is that the final act of Sosa's glorious Donny Rousseau type career? No, please, post whatever the ban comes in, because it'll be some kind of cooked book ban. Get him on there and let him finish out, head held high, Viking going out on his shield. Don't be it like that. But it did occur to me, because nothing is for real. Shoulders are broken. There's broken bones in him. And I thought, no, not it. Shouldn't have been a red, obviously. Obviously a penalty all day long. But this whole idea that we backtrack of, if it was always illegal, then anything that hits the head now makes the always illegal, even if it wasn't instrumental or methodical in the head thing. I don't like that. I think those are two independent things. One is foul play because I swing arm and I tuck my, and the other one is the contact itself. How did it get there? And if it's boom, 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 and someone changes height because they're getting hit, then it's always going to be penalty yellow for me. And then, refer to the bunker. It's not straight red. I'm looking there for a punch, a trip, an attempted punch. I would give an attempted punch that didn't land a red card. You just overhand out, and I'm just trying to smack you and I miss you. That's a red. Telling the referee that he's cheating and calling him, inquiring about what his mother was doing last night. Red. It's not about the head. The head is not always red. It's involved. Okay. If I snap your leg backwards and you never walk again, I don't know. There's lots of things in rugby that can happen. But even the attempt can be foul. So I just think they need to sit down with a guy like this referee with no name and say, let's understand where we're going with this. What are we really trying to alleviate? And what on a Monday morning could a coach take from your rulings and say, hey, guys, I know what you should do, this, and this. Because you're making happenstance. You're making circumstantial things into reds. And you're letting a TMO talk you into that when you knew it wasn't really foul play. So I think maybe we'll give Rassi a pass there, because he did know what he wanted, which is we're not going to get pushed over the scrum. We kind of still had a flip there, but in the end, we kind of got back into the scrum. And I think in the end, even with 7 men, we were able to sustain and then win. Yeah, and then finally, I think that it was super important that at critical moments, the dying parts of the first half was really good. Was Pollard kicks for Hooker. There's a Italy scrum deep. The free kick goes to the Boks, and then we run in the score, and that ends up being really crucial in the game to completely take them into oranges, thinking, what else could we do? And now we're still down 7. And then from then on, I know it did get to 13-9, but when it went to 20 and then 27, there was a feeling that justice had been restored. I feel like there was extra special peri-peri on the celebrations on the sidelines when the Boks did go in, because there was a feeling of being completely just knied on this thing, and we're like, we're gonna come back. And there was some stuff said that I'm not gonna say because I'm reformed and I'm chastened. Yeah,
you just elapsed in this very video, Harry. Sorry, anyway.
I mean, yeah. So here's the thing. I think that there was some red-arsed rage on the touchline. I think there were people jumping into each other's arms, and it wasn't because there was joy, jubilation, relief. It was like, did you think you could do that to us and take it from us? No, we're the world champions. We can fight through adversity. Take us to 14 men, to 13 men. Hell, we'll play with 10. Let's go. Let's play again.
Well, when the team doctor gets involved in this crowd, that's really getting upset there. That's quite interesting. While we're on it, our friend Paul Avenant was there at the match, sending us things. We're gonna publish the first video tomorrow. He's attending the match on our behalf. Going to link up with you yesterday, and I'm going to give you a bit of a sneak preview of what he said in the video when I spoke to him. I said I'm going to introduce you to Harry. He says Harry will probably end up killing me, or having me killed. That's so quite funny. Anyways, watch out for that one. Talking of new contributors and everything, Harry, you've got a bit of a surprise lined up for us later this week.
Yeah, we believe in the best of friends and the best of enemies, rivals. There's no one on this planet that is in that. If they really love rugby, you're into it, we'll collaborate with you in some way. So we have someone that we've always kind of viewed as sort of a nemesis, and maybe someone out there we're thinking, what you all about? And we're going to collaborate. So look out for some spice with an unnamed man who hails from not too far from exactly where I hail from, and we're going to see what we can do together to talk about the reckoning match. We had the revenge, and we just stuffed it down the French throats and said, "Here's your foie gras, your rugby foie gras. You choke gooses and kill them and eat that shit. We're just going to make you eat some of that, some rugby foie gras." Then we went to Italy, and the Turistic shroud, the old saints and incantations. We just nailed. We put a big parchment document on the door of the cathedral. We nailed it in with Quacha and Marco and Damian, and we said, "This cathedral is also ours." And now we're marching on in this long pilgrimage to settle things and say, "Irish, I understand you, but Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, we're fucking tired of losing to you. So let's go. Put your hands up. Let's square off outside the pub to may the better man win. And afterwards, I'll buy you a beer."
Well, talking of that island game, I mean, how well set are we? Wilco played almost the entire match, and Wilco was dominated in the scrums. I couldn't believe my eyes. And I mean, maybe it had to do with So's going off, but I mean, Ruan came on. Okay, I suppose they scrummed with 7 men most of the time. I don't know. I just never expected that. I suppose Rassi also didn't expect that. And Ruan played the entire game. We're running out of locks here quickly. I mean, this Irish master plan of getting rid of all the South African players by red cards before that actual test in Dublin is working quite well, it looks like.
I'll solve it for you guys right now. There's a man. He's from Milnerton. His uncle was the world champion wrestler at some age, like 65. I think his dad knocked on doors at 2 a.m, collected debts. His name is Eben. He's an Easter. There's no quit in him. He's going to go run out for his 139th, 140th, who cares, in Dublin. And there's going to be a fire burning inside him. And the prop that's in front of him, where he's putting his head and shoving through, ain't going to be going backwards next week. He always lifts Peter Steph Toy, Eben, Marks. Think of the people who are out, Jasper. Think of the people who know how to pick a ball from a scrum that's disintegrating. And think of the people who know how to make a scrum go forward through the mud, into the hedge. People who know how to be in the middle of the night, in the mud, one knife somewhere in that mud. It's me versus you. I come out with the knife and I walk home. These guys know how to play. Dialende. They're going to come. They're coming loaded.
You keep saying those names. It's got a calming effect on me. Yeah, I like
this. This is the reckoning. This is the long reckoning. It's been brewing. We remember Durban. We didn't say much. We know how many bones were broken. We know how you did it. We're coming. I'm coming. I'll be there, and I will fucking headbutt myself to victory. We're going to go there if I'm knocked out. We're going to go there, and we're going to win. Yes, it's true that some of our weaker players, some of the end of the list of the 34, 35, 36 didn't get, but there's also a lot of troops coming fresh, loaded, ready. I saw Malcolm's face. He's in that kind of mood, isn't he? Yeah, I think so. I think there's going to be some people that have a long, anguished, relieving cry at the end that's been built up over years. And if you want to see Rassi cry, put his head down on the table at the end and cry. This will be it if we win. Now, if we lose, going to be so devastated.
Harry, I mean, you've really stirred my spirit. Yeah, I must be honest. I want to bring it down a notch to a very low level, basement park, right down the bottom. You came up with a new word at the beginning of this conversation. We were checking some stats there. Something to do with contestables, but slightly more Jan Hendrik orientated. Tell me about that word, because I want to trademark that work and write to Oxford to put it in there.
Contestables are the kicks we refer to where, do a box kick or the 10 skies at high, trying to land it in landing zone, trying to get 3 or 4 chasers. someone in the air, someone beyond it, Edville or a KLA to get the scraps, a big like Eben smashing you, and then maybe a pilferer like Marco or Sia. But I started calling it contesticles. And it's like you start a speech, and you have that word in your speech a lot, and you have to use it, but you don't know what's messing up. You're like, why do I keep saying this thing that sounds like I want to say it, but it's not right? So contesticles it is. Let's go and bomb some contesticles at Mac Hansen and scoop up the scraps.
Oh, yeah. James Lowe, that old battleship that you keep referring to. I can't wait.
I want him. I want that guy. I want that guy. I want him on
I want
the
that
ground.
hair of his flowing,
Yes.
Yes. Sorry. I get all worked up now.
The laconic Praetorian is getting all animal on us.
Yeah, but I'm wearing my Springbok jersey or Springbok shirt. If I do that, I get quite excited. I'm known for that. Anyway, thanks for this, Harry. It was awesome. Loved it. Talk to you soon.
Let's go.
This is the Lekker Rugby Pod, only on Megaphone Rugby.